I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
He is terrible!
We gotta know how many wieners are going down these dudes' throats.
I want to go quick because I don't give a fuck about anything that's going to happen on Saturday.
Hello, boys! We are back with another episode of the mma-analysis podcast. We are all holed in. I mean, that's really what it is. We're holed in.
Quarantined.
We are. We haven't gotten the order to shelter in place, but we are holed in. I'm joined by three people today. I guess we'll start with the eldest statesman. I heard he may have the Tennessee tickle.
The Tennessee tickle, huh?
Tennessee tickle.
What is the Tennessee tickle?
I don't know. You tell me.
I heard some gas station.
I heard you had something on your. I heard you had.
Yeah, I heard that's extra. I heard that's extra if you're paying for that.
I heard you had something on your birthday. I guess that's what they call the tickle.
Yeah, it got a little weird, you know.
I heard you were just very disappointed that
you can't see a bunch of men wrestle.
I know.
You're sweaty,
freezing up
in tight spandex and wrestle. That's what you're.
Yeah, my birthday started off with the cancellation of the NCAA wrestling tournament and the NCAA basketball tournament. So I drank away my sorrows, but it was fun.
That's all you got for us?
I got to get the car detailed.
Well, it's going to be tough to do that. You're not going to get any gambling winnings with no events for the foreseeable future, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Moving on, I'm going to move up to Canada.
Yes, sir.
The Alberta ailment? Is that what you got? Is that a thing?
Yeah, we're keeping it cold up here. I don't know. Supposedly this thing it kills it if it's hot, but we're doing all right up here where I am anyway.
Well, you're pretty spread out.
That helps. That helps a lot.
That helps. But there's
natural
no hockey.
Social distancing up there.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I'll be honest. It's a little depressing. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking weird. After any time I see like a title game in whatever sport, after it ends, there's that like half an hour where you're like, wow, this is kind of depressing. I have to wait for how long till this comes back, and now
then
it's
you got every
like
other
that.
Sport
Yeah, and that's the thing. Oh, there's something else going on. Yeah, there's nothing going on. Fuck me.
Not much, unless you're really into. I heard the Korean Basketball League starting up again next week, so there could be something there. I mean, do you think the NHL is gonna just cancel the season and just move on to next year?
I mean, it kind of just depends. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen in the next little bit, but they've talked and they seem to be okay if it only goes till, like, if they start back up again and we have to go until September to give away the Stanley Cup. So I mean, they're pretty committed to see a champion this year, but I guess we'll have to see.
The latest rumor I hear out of the NBA is they may permanently change their schedule, that they may restart up, I guess, in the summertime. And then they may start the NBA season basically on Christmas Day or around there permanently. There's a rumor that they may
there was talks about that even before the shit kind of hit the fan, because they
stay away from the NFL.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yeah.
And that would make the NBA games even more special. I kind of like it, but I guess we'll see. That would be a pretty dramatic shift in things. But more dangerously, we go down to the Bluegrass State. I heard that he's stuck in with the Kentucky Contagion. But I heard he keeps getting outside. I mean, it's nice there. The weather's wonderful. He's smelling the fresh cut grass. It's, more ways than one. It's just, I mean, he's making the most of this situation.
Yeah. What can you do, man? I'm with Sean though. I just feel weird, man. Like it seems like so much of my life is kind of based around sports, like watching it and studying it and, betting
Going
it.
to Indiana and betting on it.
Well, I mean, and just you kind of, I've revolved so much of my schedule about getting home to catch a game or, I mean, it's just the fights every weekend and it's weird, man. But I got to tell you, man, losing the tournament just kind of hurts, man. Like I felt that one. Like when they canceled the NCAA, God, that's when it like really felt real, like I know the NBA had started canceling games and shit. And, I think all of us were not the dumb fucks we see all over the internet. We've taken that shit pretty seriously since the beginning of it. And still when they shut down the tournament, that's when it hurt, man. So no tournament this year. I know they've moved, the Euros, the championship, the soccer Euros over there in Europe are being moved out a year now. The Olympics are probably going to be canceled for the first time in almost 100 years or something like that. So it's real, man. And it's crazy. You still got these people that don't think shit's like that bad. It's like, I think our boy Jeremy's tweeting now that they literally shut down Vegas when those shark motherfuckers are shutting down and not having money coming in. Shit's real, man.
Besides the beaches of Florida, they're still going strong.
That's where you want to go if you want to party.
The interviews with the bro dudes down there.
And broettes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The broettes might have been worse.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like
they ain't gonna ruin my break. I've been looking forward to this all year.
That was so bad. Like some of them were really bad, and all the chicks that they interviewed that were like, "I'm in a party, it's the spring break." They were all like ugly and fat. Like this is my one time to shine. This is the only chance all year that I can get some action. Corona is not going to take that from me. There's drunk dudes everywhere who are going to make bad decisions.
Clearwater Beach, Florida, destination zero for idiocracy.
Well, so they just announced earlier they were going to they're closing the Clearwater Beach, and I was like, oh, that's good. And then I read the rest of the article, and it said Monday.
Of course.
I'm hoping this is a misprint. Like we're gonna have another weekend and spring break and everything. So
I mean, Lance, you can't fuck up the weekend. You can't fuck up the weekend.
It was like the Disney World shit where they're like, we're gonna shut down Disney World after this last big party we're gonna throw, and there was like hundreds of thousands of people there.
We're so stupid. We're so stupid. It's like I see the videos of the beach stuff, and it's like next day, it's like Florida has 200 more confirmed cases.
Yeah.
No fucking shit. We're all locked in
and
our
those
houses.
assholes are just going to come back to their towns and just spread it everywhere else.
Well, that's the reason Nashville acted like really, really quickly with shutting down all the bars because we're always so full of tourists that we wanted to go ahead and shut that shit down.
And SEC fucking basketball tournament and shit in town, man. Like that pick of Broadway, like they had it from last year's tournament and then like this year and it being empty. It's crazy, man. There's usually so many people. They're out in like the first lane of the road and shit when stuff's going down there.
It gets crazy. I was out Wednesday for my birthday and it was. Usually, even that Wednesday night is pretty busy, and
it's the second busiest street. It's like the second or third busiest street in the entire South. Yeah. Probably the second busiest street.
I think I slept in a toilet for part of that night, though. So there's a chance I have it.
I mean, what's busier, Bourbon Street, and then maybe South Beach? Like maybe I'm sure South Beach is even busier.
Well, Broadway, like when you look at Broadway, it's small. Like you can walk from one side of Broadway to the other.
Bourbon Street, you can
in like a minute. Yeah, Bourbon Street. I don't know. In Broadway too, there's like if you go into one of those bars, like some of the like popular bars, you can't even move in there.
No,
I mean, it is packed, and there's like 100 bars.
Well, Bourbon Street never closes. I feel.
It's
like 24 hours there.
We've had some good times down there past few years.
Yeah,
had some pretty good times on Broadway.
Yeah, I'm still like allergic to booze like a week later after my night. It was bad.
Are you drinking right now?
Not yet. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if I
come
can
on.
have hard liquor right
Yeah,
now.
man,
I
I
don't think
didn't
I'm
ask each of you what you guys are drinking on this podcast. I feel like that's like you should share. Lance, I think you have to open the Woodford Reserve.
I only drink Scotch, Jay.
Sorry. So you're not
I
on the
drink-
podcast.
Except on certain days you drink White Claws.
Yeah, I'll drink some Claws at the office.
Oh, it's gross.
I'll drink beer, and then I drink a lot of beer, and then I drink Scotch, and then I'll do old fashions, but I'll only do it with rye. I don't like sweetness, except for my Claws.
Oh, Lance.
Don't
Just
act like they're not delicious.
trying to feel young again.
Don't act like they're not delicious.
We have I don't even know if we have them up here. I think they just came
What?
out here like a couple weeks ago.
You may have there's a bunch of variations now.
Yeah, they're just.
I live in the bachelorette capital of the world. There's Claws everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
There's more Claws than water.
Yeah, the highest concentration of claws in the fucking world.
It has to be. I mean, it kind of goes together with the bachelorette party. There's just Claw everywhere. But yeah, that was a rough night. I mean, it started off with, I had a crazy work day on my birthday, just stuck working, and then they announced the tournament, so I got hammered at work. Then I went to a bar and got fucking hammered there, and then went to another bar, and then it was blackout. And then I just threw up all over my van. And then my kids were like, "What's all over the van?" The next morning, because I just kind of blacked out, and I was like, "Oh, Daddy got sick."
Yeah, the 26-ounce flu, not the Rona.
Yeah, and then like I show up like at work the next day, and right while all this Corona stuff it's really getting crazy, and I look like I just got hit by a bus. No, I'm just hungover.
Yeah, everybody thinks you got it or some shit. You just look like a bag of shit.
Did I sleep in a toilet? Maybe, but I swear I'm just hungover.
Oh, shit. Drinking wine tonight, Wes, or what are you doing?
No, I probably had a little too much wine last night, so I'm actually still drinking a little coffee with just a little splash of some Baileys to kind of hair the dog a little bit.
Winding it up on a Tuesday.
What else is there going on, man?
What else can you do?
There's like nothing happening. I had to get out of the house. I went over by buddies and burned a little bit and drank a couple bottles of. Well, drank a bottle there, came back home, drank another bottle.
Lucky you. If I went to a buddy's house, my wife would probably kill me.
Yeah,
I don't want you interacting with anybody.
He's kind of a hermit already anyway, so he literally doesn't go around anybody. So
if anything, you're giving him the virus, yeah.
I mean, I haven't been out much shit. I've been off, but just went over to Indiana a couple times when they started canceling everything. Try to get my tickets cashed in, and it was fucking dead over there. There was like nobody. Fucker still ain't refunded all my NASCAR tickets, so I'm kind of pissed about that. Like
what are they waiting for?
30 days on those.
What tickets?
I had fucking golf tickets and had all my conference tournament tickets over there.
You mean events that were actually already canceled?
Yeah, everything.
Not season longs, but like for a specific event.
Just the tournament, the conference tournament futures, and had golf that weekend, had NASCAR that weekend, just fucking hundreds and hundreds of dollars of tickets.
Like college basketball at a minimum should be credit because they already said the season's over.
Everything.
I guess the NASCAR they could probably weasel their way out of it by saying, "Oh, this race may just be postponed till like August or something."
But it's still canceled. It's
bullshit, but
it doesn't have to take place on the date.
On that date, yeah. But
now the building's probably not even open anymore. So
they shut down for 2 weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm stuck with a few $100s of NASCAR tickets that I can't fucking get refunded right now.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Yeah.
All right. Well, talking about things being closed, but they were open. We got to talk about this. We have not talked about this.
Yep.
We might get some differing opinions, or maybe not. What is our opinion of Dana's tour de force of trying to get MMA events to happen over the next, I guess, last week as well as these next like 3-4 weeks?
Shit's hilarious.
I'll start. All right, new Sean. I'll start with you. How about that?
It's just fucking hilarious. Like this guy, the ego on this guy that he's just gonna outrun this thing.
A virus.
It's fucking insane. Everything shut down. He's like, no, we gotta fucking do this.
He's like Grand Theft Auto, but like level 6, but like trying to outrun it for like 3 weeks.
It's hilarious. That's on point, Jay. Just ridiculous. You know, it comes out that they were trying to get the London card to be put on a native reservation until.
Is anyone surprised? Where else could they have gotten this done?
Yeah, that's where I thought they were gonna do it.
I would have done it in China. Fuck them.
Honestly, I was surprised that this basketball or the Brasilia card went through. I really thought it could have got canceled.
I thought that one would go through personally, just because he was down there in Brazil and everything was still there, and that government wasn't gonna like force him. And he wasn't gonna like not do it himself. You know what I'm saying? Like he would have had to been forced, but yeah.
But luckily for Lance, that card did not get canceled. But we'll touch on that. We'll touch on that.
So
shortly.
great.
We'll touch on that shortly. So, Wes, continue. Any other thoughts on Dana's tour de force of whatever he was trying to accomplish?
I mean, I tweeted it out as like we finally found the one thing that Dana can't bully and manipulate. It's a virus of pandemic fucking proportion, you know. It's just it's idiotic, man. He was like, you know, saying I talked to the president and he said live your life, and I'm sure that's probably true. I'm sure it's probably true because the president was denying this was a big deal up until like a few days ago. So I'm sure Dana heard that and was just like, man, fuck everybody. I'm going to do whatever I want. But what's crazy is coming out of last weekend, him still coming back. Like the UK's literally like cases popping up everywhere. They're shutting everything down.
Lockdown.
He had fighters out there. He already had fighters that had flown
from
out
the US.
there. Yeah. And shit got stuck over there for like days to get out and get back home. And then with the Brazil card, like Randa Marcos, I think was tweeting like she had, it took her days to get out of there and get back home. Then when she got back, they didn't screen her or nothing, didn't take her temperature, didn't test her, nothing. So she just walked right back into the country with no test or anything.
With the way she performed, Wes, like, it was just a complete waste of a week for her. But yeah.
But I mean, like, and then still going forward, like this dude is. It literally had to. It took days for him to finally realize that he's not going to be able to do this shit. He's still like the Khabib fight's going no matter what. He tweeted out
no idea where.
He tweeted out a pic earlier of a fucking fight poster on the moon, like said sponsored by Elon Musk and shit. Like, what is wrong with
I'm in. That'll be the highest selling pay-per-view of all time.
You goof.
Who doesn't want to see a fight?
And then can we talk about like the fucking card did the lowest numbers of any card on ESPN?
There was
nothing
else to watch. How is that possible?
Because nobody knew to turn it on. Because probably there's like a basic population that watches ESPN no matter what. People turn that whole thing off for like, fuck it, who cares?
Were the main card numbers though? I only saw the prelim numbers did like 675.
No, is that the main? Oh, was that the prelim?
That was the prelims.
No, the main card did like 578 or something like that. It was the lowest.
It did less than the prelims.
I guess that's a number I saw, and that was the main card because everybody was tweeting it out like you did all this shit to do the lowest numbers.
It does seem surprising though. Like it almost doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was surprised because I thought it was good.
We all thought it was big numbers.
I thought it was going to do great.
Well, the other part too is that was just ESPN, and a lot of people might have watched it on ESPN Plus as well, since it was originally scheduled on ESPN Plus and it was showing it on both.
But then somebody like tweeted out was like, would you watch ESPN Plus's shitty app that freezes up all the time and stuff watching fights, or would you just put it on ESPN? You know,
no.
But it still didn't do what I thought it would be a whole lot better than that. I really did. I got
or the reality is that people just aren't. People's habits have changed. Like I know, like there are a lot of things that I did 2 weeks ago, or things I would watch, or things I would listen to. I just don't care.
I know,
but I mean,
competition.
All of our habits have changed.
And
gamblers, yeah, sure, they're addicted to things and they want to go play anything that like there's like the only thing out there. Like how like the weird buzz around like Mexican soccer.
The betting
games.
handle. Yeah, the betting handle on that card at one sportsbook, I believe it was Caesars or whatever, was up 66%.
Yeah.
For that card, and then like the Mexican soccer handle, like over the past couple of days, was like through the roof from their normal.
Well, it had to be. It's nothing because people were just wanting to bet anything there. Yeah, I get it.
Now you got guys fucking posting Russian hockey league bets, and DraftKings is pumping out League of Legends fucking.
I know.
You can bet on the weather.
So FanDuel finally added MMA to their DFS lineup, so that was like a positive change out of this whole thing. I don't know what took them so long, but
got to bet on that weather.
Okay, can we go into talking about something probably even worse than Dana's whole shit is the fucking USADA still saying they're going to show up and test.
Yeah, what is this story?
And shit?
Yeah,
they're saying they're still going to do it. That it's a fucking like they're one of the I don't know how they what the wording was that they're.
Why are we testing if everything is in the hiatus? I don't.
They're saying because they're still they're in competition, fucking athletes.
There is no competition.
I know. They're saying the Olympic people are too, and they're not. They're gonna they canceled all the fucking the championships to get the teams and shit. Those have all been canceled. They're not in fucking comp athletes right now. But yeah, like how are you gonna tell these fighters like quarantine yourself? Then you're gonna have some guy show up that ain't been tested because there is no fucking test for people. So you're gonna have a guy that could be positive of the virus show up to
somebody's gonna catch it. Somebody's going to catch it. It's going to be a fighter or it's going to be the guy delivering or doing the testing. One of them's going to catch it and then the shit's going to blow up.
Imagine trying to do a blood test or something. You're supposed to be 6 feet away from everybody. I got to take your blood, dog. You got a 6 foot long fucking needle.
And I just tested like 5 other people. I just like flew and I drove. Yeah, like fuck. Fucking you saw.
That is just crazy.
You got to keep the sport clean. It's very important.
It's the worst.
Lance, give us your thoughts on the Dana megalomaniac.
I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, he thought he was the only guy. Yeah, you fucking goof. Like, you want to be a fucking fighter, you goof?
I mean, selfishly, I was all for the Brasilia card. I was like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else going on. All I've been watching is news and CNBC over the last, 3 days at that point, and I was like, it'd be nice to have something else to spend 6 hours on that we normally get on a Saturday. So, I mean, I was all for that, and the fight card was good. We all wanted this fight card. We've been talking about it for a month and a half.
Definitely.
I think the thing with me, I wanted to see the fights, obviously. I was happy they did it, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on that is 1,000 times more risky than what the UFC did in Brazil in terms of just a social distancing and all that. I mean, we literally got a couple days after those fights, there was literally 300,000 people at Disney World.
Yeah.
And it's
and another 12,000 at Clearwater, just all drinking body shots off each other. Yeah.
I can't be mad that there was 100 people doing a fight card, and I understand obviously why they canceled it. But if they did the Apex thing, I don't think that would be ultra risky in terms of the wider range of containing the virus or anything. So I was hopeful that they would still have the fucking fights, because I think I'd be a lot more excited for Saturday if there were fights versus not fights.
But I'll say this, Lance, though. Does anybody really want to see Khabib and Tony in an arena with nobody there? I really
Isn't
does
that
take
perfect?
away.
Isn't that perfect?
Perfect for that fight that's been canceled 4 fucking times.
It is. No, you know what'll happen? The day before the fight, Tony would have coronavirus.
I
He would cancel it. He'd be the first fighter to get corona.
How do we know that Tony's not patient zero, honestly? That fucking crazy fuck's had corona his entire life, right?
All right, I'll start with New Sean. Does that fight take place on that? Hypothetically, that fight takes place on that day that they say it's going to take place. Where does it take place, New Sean?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you guys the same thing. Fuck, man.
Bangladesh.
Is there anywhere in Europe's all fucked up?
No, it's all locked down.
Europe's done.
Can't get in. Europe's out.
Is there any chance they do it in like China?
All right.
Nah.
Wes, you're
No.
up.
Because they're playing basketball now. Or
Wes,
Yeah, but
They got a lot of players that are trying to protest that though, and they're talking about locking them up and shit.
We got the Korea thing too. Well, Wuhan just came out today and said they have no cases of the virus, new infections. If you believe that, that's another story.
There's
no
gonna
one
be.
believes that.
There's
So,
gonna be.
Sean, your guess is somewhere in China.
Yeah, let's go fucking China.
All right.
I don't think it happens.
Wes,
But yeah.
I say it's gonna be somewhere like a Foxwoods or something like that.
An Indian reservation.
Yep, it's gonna be one of those casinos.
Sorry, native reservation for the sensitive, but okay. All right, Lance.
I'm gonna go Vatican City.
Mecca.
Not-
Right in the
Yeah,
fucking middle.
Vatican City.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be in Macau. I think it's gonna be at that deal that they got with the Sands out, that facility, that giant casino in Macau. So I'm kind of on the new Sean wave. I think it's gonna be in China, but it's gonna be on the offshoot. There's been like
Abu Dhabi could be one
based
too.
on
Abu Dhabi is a good
They
guess.
just-
Yeah.
Or Cuba.
No, I don't know. The cases there, the UAE has more cases. I'm gonna look. Just let me see my numbers here. There are how many?
Vatican has one case.
There are 17 cases in Macau. 17. I got 17.
Could we see some?
Yeah,
Could we
so I
see
think
some
that's pretty
Moscow? Oh, could
No,
be.
Russia,
Could
no,
we see?
Russia's not going to let anybody in.
And don't believe Russia's numbers. Russia probably has the most infected people.
Yeah. They're just
Oh, they're going too soon
Outside of
anyway.
China. Yeah.
That shit's there now. They're gonna be fucked here soon anyway. So.
Russia says they have 147 cases.
The thing is, if you go to China now, I think you have to do a 14-day quarantine if you're a foreigner. So
Just
yeah.
have to go to the fight early and stay late.
So it might have to be in the U.S. based on where they.
Yeah,
are.
but everybody's gonna like. Is there anywhere that this could actually happen in the U.S.?
There is some Indian casino that will allow it.
The Mohegan Sun.
I saw something that there's like 37% of Indian casinos are closed, so there's still like over 60% open.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Goof. You want to be a
They
fucking
had a
fighter?
deal with this place in Oklahoma. They had a deal with some place in Oklahoma. It seems plausible. I don't know how the social distancing conversation, like that whole dynamic or the amount of people, if the Indian reservations are they not part of that? No one really knows. I mean, I guess I'm sure somebody does, but I'm not privy to if all these conversations and state. I guess if it's a state ruling, so say Oklahoma, for example, if they say you can't have more than 50 people in a venue, so if you go inside the native reservation, I don't think that applies. So there'll have to be a federal mandate.
There isn't a federal mandate right now. It's just kind of an advice thing.
It's just an advice thing.
I think it's a state protocol, at least for now. So we're gonna see what happens.
So it could happen.
No. I mean, it's no.
It's
I
not
mean,
gonna
if they
happen.
do it, it's gonna have to be an Indian casino out of the country. There's just no way.
It's either gonna be an Indian casino or it's gonna be in a country like China. I don't really see another scenario.
I like how the UFC,
with-
like, I'm looking at like some news from today. Like, someone backed out of a fight on April 25th, and the UFC is naming replacements. Like
Why
in
even
Nebraska.
bother? Why bother?
Like, so and so is injured, now facing blah blah blah. No, he's not.
He's crazy, man.
Let's
This
sidebar that.
It shit's big about
Because
money,
there's,
man.
There's still a Cage Warriors card this weekend, and UFC moved a few of the fights that they had scheduled.
I
for
thought it
the
was
How
just
is
one.
that
I thought it was
How
just
is that
one.
happening?
There's two fights.
Oh, was
Where's it at?
It's
in Manchester?
It wasn't London, but now London they can't do it there now, so it got moved to Manchester for now, and it won't happen by Friday. I don't see it happening.
That's what I'm saying. Like with the UFC, like this stuff's just gonna get worse by the day. Like by the time we get to around that fight, and this is like them. They need the cash, is what it is. They need the cash on this. With that deal, they just paid out dividends to all these celebrity investors, like hundreds of millions of dollars. They need the cash. That's why Dana's going crazy. They got to pay investors. They got to pay debts. They need that money. They're leveraged hard, like really fucking hard on the UFC.
Probably shouldn't have paid out that dividend.
Yeah, exactly. No, and they just did it. It was like a month ago, 6 weeks ago. They paid out like $300 million to I think 20 or 30 of them were celebrity investors. Like hell, Mark Wahlberg got like $15-20 million or something like that because he's invested in it. Yep, they need the cash. They're leveraged pretty hard.
That's crazy.
Fertitta's going to swoop back in again in a couple years.
Buy it for the cheap.
How smart have them fuckers?
That is so genius.
How smart have they been over the past 15 years with this fucking company? Like, smartest ones out of
buy low, sell high. Maybe they can buy low.
Oh, it's gonna. There's gonna be a chance.
Find like some other. Is what's fading out again?
Thought you were fading out again.
You were fading out. Your internet has the corona.
Not good, Jay.
Should we talk about the
Can
fight
you hear
card
me?
that took place?
Yeah,
That nine decisions in a row.
Maybe not that part of it. We can just talk about Dubronx for 30 minutes.
Am I fading in or am I good now?
Now
think
you're
you're
good.
All right, so you can start with the card. Let's just get through it. Like I'll mention a few of the prelims to start. So every single preliminary fight went to a decision.
Nine straight.
Totally forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot, but the only good thing about decisions on a card where like for this card was there was nothing else going on to pay attention to, so it just passed time because there wasn't much delay. Because it went from fight to fight, so that was cool. But the first three fights. Bia Malecki won a decision of Veronica Macedo. David Dvorak won a decision over Bruno Gustavo da Silva in a decent fight. And then Marina Moroz
survived.
Right, against Mayra Bueno Silva. And then we'll finish that with the fourth fight. Barzola and Yaya went to a draw. 2 28-28s and then a 29-28 for Barzola. I'll let you guys talk about those fights, but I'll start the conversation off with how did you score the Barzola Yaya fight? We'll start with you, Sean.
I had it as a draw. I bet Barzola, but I expected a lot more from him. I thought he would be able to wrestle, like he was dropping weight and has decent wrestling, but he gave up the takedown. Yaya was able to get him down in the second, just laid on him, but that third was pretty gassy. Just like in the first fight, it got pretty sloppy out there, but Barzola was just annihilating Yaya. I'm pretty sure Yaya did not land a single punch in that round. So yeah, I gave it a 10-8.
Wes.
Yeah, I kind of posted scoring it for Yaya on Twitter, but that was just, a wishful thinking tweet. Like that was definitely a 10-8 round. And yeah, Yaya looked really good in the first couple rounds. And God damn, I don't know if I've ever seen a guy gas that hard. I'm really shocked that he survived a third, but
he went 0 for 3 in strikes.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was one of the hardest gas jobs you'll ever see. I thought that I'm surprised he survived, but yeah, that was definitely the right decision. Sucks losing they got like plus 160 or plus 170 on that fucker too. That one kind of hurt, but yeah, right decision for sure.
Lance?
Yeah, I thought that was a really clear draw. Like if that's not a 10-8 third, I don't know what a 10-8 is.
He had landed
like,
on 64-0, I think.
Yeah, and he hurt him a lot.
41-0.
41-0.
If they would have gave him more, if they give him more liberally, that third could have been a 10-7. It really could.
Yeah, that was
that bad. Yeah.
He needed to hurt him some more. He wasn't hurting him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I thought Yaya won the first two rounds. I mean, the second round had moments, but I thought Yaya still won that second round. So I would have been surprised if it wasn't a draw. So yeah, that was actually the only bet I didn't win. So I will take a draw on it. So I got to end our long drought with a winning card. So that's good. But Yaya, what cardio machine. Just great. That was tremendous.
The
prelims sucked pretty bad.
So bad. That opening fight with the chick that was like a foot taller than the other one.
That's the only reason I bet. That's the only reason I bet her. I mean, I picked her to win rather was because I'm like she's. I mean, if you don't know shit about either of these fighters, I'm just gonna take size.
Yeah. That's totally.
I didn't see no girl fight
Dick
before.
Size?
Which one are we talking about, Macedo?
The tall chick. She fought on one of the toughs and got the shit beat out of her.
I know.
Hey, did you guys hear the one crazy fact about the attendance?
No.
It was the same as the last Invicta card.
Oh man.
Got her. Got her. How about my boy the Assassin Baby though? Did you guys like that shit?
I did not.
I did not either. No, I didn't.
That was an easy W.
How easily he did that.
Yeah. Everyone, I mean, I guess there were some closest rounds, but I thought Moreno kind of dominated most of that fight.
It was close.
When Formiga was on top, he just kind of like took a nap on his chest.
Bigger strikes. Which fight are we talking about now?
Formiga.
We didn't get up to that yet.
We skipped all the other ones because they sucked.
True.
We couldn't just talk about Barzal and Yaya.
Yeah, I think that was enough.
All right, let me at least finish through the prelim card. We Elijah Dushku won a decision over Alexei Kunchenko. It was
that wasn't a great decision.
No,
but I'll take it. W.
Yeah.
It was a very even fight. I thought it was basically a pick 'em at the bell. I was surprised it was unanimous. Amanda Ribas beat up Randa Marcos, destroyed her, and then Marcos barely got home. So again, like I said before, about as bad a week as it can get. And then Brandon Moreno and Jussier Formiga. You got to give Moreno credit though. You really do. I mean, I thought Formiga
gotten good, man.
Got a lot better.
This was a surprising result for me, and you have to give credit to Moreno. I mean, he's a legitimate fighter.
He's feisty, man.
All right, Lance, take it. You can go from here.
He's feisty. Like he's gotten so much better. Like his get up game is pretty good. He's
scrambles,
from the bottom, great scrambles. He has a fucking legendary chin. Like he's good, and I thought he dominated this fight. Like when Formiga got some takedowns and he was on top, but he did nothing. Like
he was
Formiga
landing some stuff, dude. Yeah, he did some stuff.
I think he landed at least 3 punches in the fight, which is pretty good. That's like one.
It was a whole lot more than that. It was a whole lot more.
I thought that was a one-sided fight. I thought Formiga.
You're like the
only
one.
Did nothing. Well, the 3 judges. I think they did that.
That was, yeah.
I just don't know how you could score the fight for Formiga when he did none of the damage, like, at all.
I mean, he did Moreno's face after the fight? His eye was almost swollen shut.
He probably kicked himself in the face with his toe or something.
It was a close fight, and I'm not pissed about Moreno getting the decision because it was that close, but 75% of the people I saw scored it for Formiga. I did too, but I was biased as hell, so I kind of throw my scorecard out.
We all do.
Moreno's gotten way better, man. He's gotten way better. Well, I mean, you was on the wrong side of this one, Lance, and if it was the other way and you had 75% of the people that scored it that way, you'd be calling it a robbery. So
Formiga landed 15 strikes.
Yeah, and he had like all kinds of top position and takedowns.
He didn't do anything with that.
He did nothing with the. Yeah, this is my new thing.
He was one of 9 from takedown. He was 1 of 9 on takedowns and landed 15 punches in 15 minutes.
This goes back. This goes back to the Zhang Joanna fight, where people are like, "Oh, Joanna clearly won the fight." I'm like, how? Look at her fucking face. It's like it's like weird color still, and it's like 2 weeks later. Like, how did she win? Like, what? She landed more pitter patter. Like, at some point, you have to grade damage over numbers. Like, it's just don't look at a spreadsheet and say, oh, this person landed 30 strikes. This landed 27. 30 is more than 27. 7, you have to value the worth of that.
It's definitely more
This
nuanced
goes back
than
to this
that.
fight. It's got to be. It really has to be like there
I
has
think
to,
that
for
fight.
damage.
Yeah, but you can get a hematoma
That fight's a
from
bad
anything.
example, though. I think like Kaposa
What
put
fight?
together the Joanna fight. Kaposa put together like some videos of that fight where she is fucking her up in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, even though her head's swelling
Sorry, Wes.
like an alien. It wasn't like Jean wasn't bleeding out all over her face.
Sorry,
And
Wes.
That was a coin flip fight.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
I
This one
get
was
it.
too.
I get it from the Zhang, just from landing way more powerful strikes.
That
But
punch was 3 times harder. But okay, fine. I'm not going down this rabbit hole. I'm not. Just
so
not, but-
MMA decisions had about I would say about 65% they had Formiga, and the rest had Moreno.
I just can't score a fight for a guy that lands one takedown and just lays on someone, doesn't land punches. I don't know. I thought Moreno just landed way, way, way more strikes.
He did.
And Formiga just didn't do much in the fight. Like
Yeah.
he didn't really have he had the one sub attempt, but like he didn't
That was
really,
a pretty
he didn't-
shitty stand up in the first, though.
That was horrible.
Oh, agreed.
Second. Was it the first or second? I think it was
First.
was it the
That was
first?
the
Yeah.
first. Yeah, it was the first. But yeah, that was terrible. But
That was
yeah,
one of the
that was
worst
bad.
I've ever seen. But like, obviously, awful stand-up. But he wasn't doing anything. Like he was in mount and just like taking a nap. Like I didn't know what was going on for Miga. Like he's usually pretty aggressive when he's on top, like threatening with subs, throwing punches, working.
Moreno
This
was
whole
just
fight,
good getting out of shit. I think
He was.
he was. That was a really good scrambling from Moreno. So
He's improved so much.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was very surprised by that.
He's so young too. He's 26. And yet he has, 26 years old, has back-to-back wins over Kaikara France and Formiga. Like, that's legit shit.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Good story. All right, so main card we had Francisco Trinaldo taking on John McDessie.
Ugh.
I mean, McDessie
Easy.
did nothing.
Cut
Again.
McDessie. Cut McDessie for making
And
a Grandpa
Rogan.
Trinaldo fight bad.
Or not Rogan. Who announced? Was it
Bisping.
BC?
Bisping.
Bisbing. God, that was so bad.
That was fucking horrible.
Bisbing was like, McDessie turning it on. I was like, what are you watching? This is going to be interesting scores.
Bisping may be a worse judge while commentating a fight than Rogan. He may be.
Yeah,
How
Yeah.
can he be this bad at this?
so bad. Like,
Yeah.
So bad. I know he's got
he was-
one eye that works, but come on.
He was
Yeah, he's
atrocious
blind.
in the main as well, but we'll talk about that later.
oh, God. They acted like Kevin Lee was putting it on Dubrow the whole fight.
That was Kevin Lee's game plan in the second.
I started
Getting fucked up.
questioning my own eyes at one point. I was like, all right, I'm watching this, and Dubrov's is peppering his face. He's beating the shit out of him, and
Especially in
Rogan.
the second round.
Dubrov's is
Yeah.
getting tired. Kevin Lee is hurting him. I was like, oh. What are we talking about here?
Yeah. But we'll get to that later. More this next fight was I bet my buddy, I was like, man, if this next fight goes to a decision, I'll just give you $5 free because he was watching this card for and he doesn't watch UFC that much. I was like, this is gonna end the streak of no finishes. Nope. That was a brutal fucking fight. The hype train on Walker is completely off the tracks.
Done.
So bad.
When he got, what's crazy is the fight was even going into the 3rd round though, and the dude got mount within like a minute into the 3rd round and literally got bucked off and fucking reversed. I'm like, nope.
That's
I'm
some
done.
regional MMA shit
Yep,
right there.
I am done.
Sure
I'm
is.
off that train completely. Yep.
Oh, just not a fun fight. I thought they were just gonna stand and bang, and Krylov's trying to take this fucker down. Just terrible.
Yeah, that was awful. I think like the UFC needs to do, like in hindsight, yeah, we all thought it was gonna be a finishing fun fight, but the UFC needs to figure out like guys like Johnny Walker who are super entertaining that fans really love, that are really good on cards.
Give them cans.
Don't put them, not even just cans. Give him someone who's good, fine, but not someone who's gonna wrestle.
But Krylov doesn't usually wrestle. Like, he strikes a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he has like
Krylov's gotten better.
We
We gotta give him credit.
He has like Krylov subs a lot of guys and wrestles a lot.
Yeah,
like it wasn't far fetched whatsoever to think he was going to take down the Walker, who has no idea what he's doing from a grappling perspective. So like Johnny Walker needs to fight guys who are like Khalil Roundtree, perfect opponent.
Just no ground
Walker.
game. Yeah.
Just stand and bang. Like that's what he needs. So like
take it just a tiny bit slower. You know what I'm saying? Like they started throwing him like some
Corey Anderson and shit.
I mean, just some guys that are bad matchups for him, man. You know, slow the fuck down a little bit. Because this dude was doing the worm and shit after fights. Y'all got to pump him up all quick, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man?
I agree. I think he should fight like a striker next, like someone like Anthony Rumble Johnson.
That would be fucking unreal.
Oh, that would not last very long. Something easy, like Rumble.
Get him back on track.
He's coming back.
I know. I'm hard.
I get it.
Hopefully they don't do him like Walker and give him somebody going to take him down and fucking make him tap out.
There's no one that can take him down and tap him out that's not Daniel Cormier or
John
Jones. John Jones could do that.
Yeah, but that'd still be an unreal fight.
I think we should see Gus again. Just put him out of his misery again.
I lost so much money on that fight.
I won so much money on that fight.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah. Luckily, some of my favorite fighters win a lot. That helps. Because there was a stretch there where I was betting on Gray Maynard and Koscheck and some guys like rough. That. And, like, it wasn't going well. And then Bader went in his run, and then Rumble, and then Dubronx. So, like, I don't even want to think about how much money I've made off Dubronx at this point.
That is a hell of a streak.
Well, next fight, Renato Moicano moved up the lightweight. I don't know why anybody thought this fight was going to be close. I mean, this was like a minus 350 odds or minus 400. This fight was nowhere close. He destroyed Damir Hadzovic. And then there was a weird enter at the end, and we got to hear all that because there was no one making any sound in the arena, which is kind of cool. Sean, thoughts?
Yeah, that was hilarious. Moicano's like, I wanted to fight longer, and Hadzovic is like, well, you shouldn't have choked me out then.
Yeah, that was great.
So good. Yeah, I don't even know, was Moicano inside the distance, like pretty cheap? Like that seems like a good catch if it was, because I didn't have anything on this fight, but Moicano looked pretty good, but I guess we know Hadzovic is pretty flawed, so I guess I don't know what to make of that fight.
Yeah, I like that Moicano's up at 155 now, though. I think he already had the size for it, and he could be a prime candidate to have kind of a little resurgence in his career up at 155. Seemed like he had a little bit of trouble. Not trouble, but looked kind of bad making 145 and stuff, and then it seemed like that chin wasn't very good down there. So we'll see. I like him at 155.
Moicano inside was plus 205. Damn.
Man.
Yeah. Lance, did you win any money on that fight? Did you parlay up Moicano?
On all the fights, Sean. I won every bet.
True.
I had Moicano with I think I had two parlays. I think I had that one with Capoeira maybe.
Oh yeah.
I had him with some Grandpa.
Yeah, I think I had Moicano with Capoeira, and then I had Trinaldo with. No, I had Moicano with Burns. That's right, and I had Trinaldo with Capoeira. Yeah, that's right. I just remembered.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I had Moicano with fucking with Burns and Rebus. Yeah. I had Rebus with Grandpa, much bigger than those actually. I like that parlay a little bit better. Rebus I think she was around minus 300 or something against fucking Random Marcos. That was crazy.
She's hot. Rebus is a good looking broad.
I agree.
I'm not gonna argue.
And she's good at fighting.
She's actually fun. She's actually fun to watch. I mean, I
think she's a top 10 strawweight. I really do believe that.
I don't even know what that means. Is there 10 strawweights?
It's for best women division.
I'm a top 2 women's featherweight.
Oh my god.
If you look up pictures of Rebus on the interwebs, they're pretty good.
I have indeed.
Her and what's the other girl's name that fights in Bellator?
The other girl I like is the Polish chick who always gets her face punched in.
Koala Bear.
You said she's the best looking girl in the UFC, and well,
she is.
No,
except when their face is all rearranged and broken.
She's not anymore.
Which is all the time.
Lance hates diversity. All right, co-main event. No, this was a weird. I guess it wasn't that weird, but
it was fun. It was fun while it lasted.
Now, I still feel Maya is a better fighter overall because I think he can do better against higher quality competition than Burns can. But this was an awful matchup for Maya.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Burns got some good hands if he can't get his jiu-jitsu going.
You can tell how good he's gotten working with Javier Cordero, no doubt about it.
No, he's with Henry Hooft.
Oh, he was. Yeah, well, he was at Black House too, so that's even better. He's worked with 2 of the best in the game. Yeah, you're right though. He did move.
This was sad when it ended because Maya's a good dude. He just got flatlined.
Who does he fight next? Because I mean, he's had 3 really good wins in a row.
He was they talking about giving him Woodley. He asked for it, but
yeah, but how about Woodley saying no? I'm going to fight RDA.
No, that's not the fight. It's not the fight.
Nah, I don't want to see Burns fight.
Gilbert Burns is 6 now, so the only people ahead of him are Stephen Thompson.
Welterweight division? Seriously?
Stephen Thompson is ranked?
Yeah, Stephen Thompson's 5, Leon Edwards 4, Masvidal 3, Colby 2, and
10.
Woodley 1.
I thought Stephen Thompson retired. I'm not even joking.
So after Burns, you got Maya, Chiesa, RDA, and Diaz.
You could do the Chiesa fight.
Why is Stephen Thompson ranked 5th in the world? And who is Leon Edwards? I've never even heard of him.
Well, Thompson, I mean, I guess he just beat Luque, who's like 13.
Pettis!
Like, in what universe is Burns not... And Maya's still 7? Like, I'm sorry. In RDA, like, maybe welterweight sucks.
What happened to welterweight?
It's top end is
good.
Where's
Robbie Lawler ranked?
All I know is Conor McGregor fooks up all these guys.
Best divisions in MMA are lightweight, featherweight, and weight. We already know this, though.
Yeah.
Featherweight and bantamweight are. Bantamweight might be murderer's row, but
I love bantamweight. I just hate the champ because he doesn't want to fight, which sucks.
They go down this roll. I mean, bantamweight's so loaded compared to this. It's just so much.
And Aldo's getting the shot.
Yeah, that's fucked. Yeah.
Which is so cool.
He's gonna lose, isn't he?
Who, Aldo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna get massacred.
Look at the top and outside. So Moraes is the number one contender. Then you have Sterling, Peter Yan, Sandhagen, Asuncao, Aldo, Pedro Munoz, Jimmy Rivera, Garbrandt, Robbie. I mean, it's freaking loaded.
It's good.
Featherweight is Holloway, Ortega, Magomed Sharapov, Korean Zombie, Yair Rodriguez, Edgar Stevens, Josh Emmett, Calvin Cutter, Shane Burgos. That's your top 10. I mean, bantamweight, lightweight is Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, McGregor, Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker's 5th somehow, Donald Cerrone, Felder, Stu Bronx is 8th now, up from 13th, Ali Akinta, and Kevin Lee.
Yeah.
Stu Bronx should be ahead of. I mean, I guess Felder beat Stu Bronx, so I guess that's the thought process.
But Cerrone should be out of there.
Start up your 5th hamster and get your fucking internet going.
Yeah, you're cutting out a bit, Jay. Goddamn rope.
I blame the virus. I really do.
Jay, stop talking. You're ruining the show. For the last 3 minutes, you just read names off a screen, and we only heard half of them.
What if I move around? Is it better here?
Nope. It's still terrible. Like
Still a
Jeremy,
robot.
Jeremy
What about
Stevens
over here?
Jeremy Stevens is my boy, but it's crazy. He hasn't won a fight in years, and he's still ranked 7th in a very tough division.
Well, that's what happens.
And
when you
Jose
fight
Aldo
the
is ranked in
top
2
guys, top
divisions.
3 guys.
How about Jose Aldo hasn't won a fight in several years, and he's ranked in 2 divisions?
Yeah, it's magic.
It is. Oh my God, they're ranking that Dvorak guy.
What? Oh, well, that's
What?
because there's only fucking 15 featherweights in the whole division.
Who is Mark De La Rosa? He's ranked.
Yeah, he's lost a couple
Could
times.
be.
He's on like a
Raulian
2-fight losing streak, so he's 14th.
Who are these people? Is flyweight that bad?
Flyweight's terrible, man, unless you're in the top
Well, they
5,
don't bring
top
people
6.
in anymore.
Well, they signed somebody recently, I think from an N1 guy or something.
Where did Dubronx move to?
He's 8th. He moved up
Yeah, but
5.
Are you telling me if Dan Hooker and Dubronx fought, Dan Hooker wouldn't go night-night? Give me a break, top 5. I hope Poirier pulls out. I want Poirier to. I want Dubronx to fight Hooker or Poirier, so I want one of those guys to get hurt.
That'd be dope.
Though I feel like
For you.
if Dubronx subs everyone in the entire division. If they don't do this if they don't do this Conor McGregor Gaethje fight, I mean, you have to make Gaethje Dubronx, right?
There's no chance in hell they do that.
Well, they offered it They offered it a couple months ago. Gaethje turned it down.
It's Khabib or it's Gaethje. That's the only guys he's fighting.
Who?
McGregor.
No, I'm saying if Conor doesn't fight Gaethje, I'm saying they do Dubronx versus Gaethje.
Oh yeah, I guess Gaethje. Gaethje already turned it down though.
Yeah, I would turn
He
it down.
basically
too.
wants a title shot, so fucking he's waiting.
Well,
He wants the money, dude. He wants the fucking money.
Yeah,
Why
I'd
does it-
turn
like-
down.
It can't be wanting a title shot. There's several guys ranked above him, including guys who beat him.
No, he wants that McGregor fight.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get it, he might as well get tapped out.
Nah. That'd be a fucking ridiculous. I mean, any Dubronx fight is fun. I mean,
Yeah. Besides the Felder
Not
fight,
as
that wasn't
fun
fun.
as the Gaethje fight, though.
As what?
A Justin Gaethje fight. No one's more. There's never
No.
been a bad Justin Gaethje fight ever.
There's never been a bad Dubronx fight.
well, I went to his
Still not
fight that
against,
he main
against
evented.
Max Holloway.
When he main evented, and he pulled the old esophagus routine. That was not a great
That's
fight.
it. That's it. That's about it, though. That's what people still hang on.
But it's one fight versus Euro for Justin Gaethje, so that's how that game works.
Gaethje's never had a bad round.
He is the most
Much less
entertaining
a fight.
fighter. He might be the most entertaining fighter in the history of MMA.
He's in that you can argue for him list. That's for fucking sure.
He's a Hall of Famer without even really having a Hall of Fame resume.
Jay, you're gonna have to do something.
No. The whole show cuts out when Jay
You're
talks.
you're killing the show. No one can understand you. Let's now move on to the main event, as
Yes,
we
sir.
had in the 158-pound division.
And a half. Don't forget that half.
Charles, he missed weight by half a pound. Charles Dubronx Oliveira defeated Kevin Lee by guillotine choke in the 3rd round. This fight was great. I know we all
It was
loved
a
it
fun fight. It was really
on the
fun.
show. Dubronx striking continues to impress. Now Jay is having. All right, someone hang up on Jay.
Is he crawling up on the roof or some shit?
He's messing with his
Tap-
money.
tap-
my
over the
computer
mainframe.
around.
Even when he's not talking, it's still fucking
Is
everything
the
up.
sound better?
No, it sounds way worse.
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh.
how much his striking has obviously gotten better, and it's been talked about a lot. But he looked so smooth on the feet. Like that second round when he was punching Kevin Lee's face in, and then Rogan was like, "This is Kevin Lee's game plan."
You mean fucking Bisbing.
And then or Bisbee, yeah, and like he landed, like he just Kevin Lee, he shot the shot in the second round. Do Bronx just kind of laid there in the second round, like taking a breather. I don't know if he was like setting them up, but the second Kevin Lee put his head down, like it's a wrap. Like you cannot shoot more than one sloppy shot.
That was so
against
lazy.
Du Bronx.
It was such a lazy takedown.
What he did though was fucking Do Bronx hit him with a fucking kick right to his rib cage. Yeah. And he kind of lazily fell into that shit because he was fucking hurt, man. That was a beautiful kick that Do Bronx landed to get him to duck.
Well, I think Kevin Lee was way more hurt in the second round than I think, obviously, the one-eyed announcer noticed. Du Bronx was teeing off on him in that second round. He was hurting him bad.
Those uppercuts he were landing was just fucking beautiful, man.
And then how people score fights again. Like, Du Bronx batters him on the feet for 3 minutes. Kevin Lee takes him down, lands a little ground and pound. Everyone's like, definitely 1-1. I'm like,
nah, that's it. Yeah, that's a big difference, man, when you got that much stand-up output going for 3 minutes, you know.
Yeah. Smacking around.
Yeah. We can't, like, even talk about, like, Do Bronx's stand-up's gotten better and he's decent at it. No, that dude looks like a legitimate kickboxer now.
It's clean.
It's crazy.
It looks natural.
Yeah,
and it's creative.
Looks great. Yep.
It's like,
he throws all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Like, usually when wrestlers or like jiu-jitsu guys develop power, like you think of like they throw these bombs, right? They just learn how to throw power punches. And like even YOLO, right? He just throws these bombs. And you see like when Jacare lands shots, his overhand rights and stuff like that. Du Bronx literally looks like he's a kickboxer who has learned jiu-jitsu. Like, he's like falling into jiu-jitsu. Like some of those kicks he was landing and just like some of the knee, like he looks so fucking smooth. And like going into this fight, I was thinking it too, but like, how do you fight this guy now? If you're not like a top of the line striker, like how do you fight Du Bronx?
You're going to have to be a guy that gets him down and gets on top of him and lands some big shit like quick. That's the only way. You're going to have – that's about the only way you're going to be able to take him out now because the dude's starting to use his like – the kicks he was throwing in that were like fucking Anderson Silva-esque, those front kicks to the ribs and to the body and shit.
Yeah.
And like I said, that one kick literally got Kevin Lee to fall into that choke. It was so good. That's legitimate striking stuff right there, man. That's mixing some shit up. He's good. You're right, man. Like, how do you beat him? You better get him down and get some shit that's going to rock him quick.
Yep.
Because he'll grab like I tweeted Saturday that like guys still doing heel hooks and leg locks and shit. They don't like finish fights, but Do Bronx uses them so great to reverse and to get guys to scramble and shit. And he goes for like that fucking when he got him in the like the shoulder lock and shit and was rolling Kevin Lee. He uses his shit really well, not just to sub guys, but to fucking reverse positions on the ground. And Kevin Lee's a decent wrestler, man. It was fucking working. Yep, it was working.
I think the thing too that's changed a lot is his mindset. And like I've obviously never been on the Du Bronx is a quitter and all that train. But I think he's shown he can fight through adversity. I think a fight like this really proves that. And during this win streak, people have pointed out some of the best guys and blah blah blah, and which I agreed with. But you could just tell he was a different fighter. And I think this fight's a perfect fight where he did get himself in some trouble. Yep. He did get hit a few times, and he ate them very, very well.
Sold him.
Yeah, like it was nothing. And Kevin Lee can hit hard, and we've seen that. And Du Bronx has just evolved so much. And this is now, I think, the second or third time he's hurt guys in the feet, so they're like, ooh, I'm going to shoot on Du Bronx. And even if you do get on top and you beat him up, you make 1 inch of a mistake against this guy. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the best wrestler or whoever, Habib, whoever. If Habib puts his head angle in a weird spot, Du Bronx can choke anyone. There is not a man on this earth that Du Bronx cannot choke out. And I think that's what makes it a just like any of those big fights are just fun. And to me, like the Habib fight, obviously interesting, but I think Habib probably would like have an advantage over Du Bronx. Du Bronx have to get lucky and grab his neck. But there is no doubt in my fucking mind Tony Ferguson would do something so idiotic that he would be left sleeping in the middle of the fucking cage.
He's been caught in a bunch of shit that he's gotten out of. I'm not sure that he gets out of something that if he gets caught deep by Do Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Like Tony always gets put in some really bad spots. He just finds ways to get out of them.
No one gets out of that choke.
No, yeah, nobody, man. That dude, it's crazy too. Like Do Bronx is fucking 30, man. That dude's 30.
I know, he's young.
Yeah,
He's been around forever.
Very young. And you're right, Lance. Like I never thought that he was like a quitter per se, but you could tell like a couple years ago when he would get like in some bad spots, he wouldn't like do everything he could to like stay in the fight. You know what I'm saying? He would kind of turtle up shit. He doesn't do that anymore. That dude stays in a fight now, man. And it usually pays off for him more often than not now. He's a different guy. Definitely a totally different guy.
He is.
That striking was ridiculous. He was standing like 2 feet away from Kevin Lee and just throwing crazy shit and combos and landing. That was crazy.
And he wasn't worried about getting hit whatsoever.
No, he just eating it. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. He was like a fucking Diaz brother out there.
How can you not like watching that guy fight, man? I mean, he's ridiculous. That guy's so good now.
And it's kind of unheard of for a guy at like not heavyweight to have 7 straight finishes in the UFC.
Yeah, that's
like
wild.
that is completely unheard of. And there's not many guys right now like in the UFC who are they finish you or they get finished, right? Or he's one of the few. I'm gonna finish you, or that's it. Like that's all I'm gonna do is get finishes. I mean, Gaethje is another guy that is like that. And I think the most fun fight you can make if you like outside of the Ferguson fight is like that Gaethje fight. What the fuck happens in that fight? Gaethje tries to do a rolling thunder and Brooks grabs his neck. Gaethje lands a big shot and knocks him out. Like, who knows? There's so many fun fights for Do Bronx, and I'm just along for the ride. I think I was the first member of the Do Bronx fan club. So it's been a long, painful ride, but it feels good to finally be here now.
Him by sub plus 275 in that fight was just, I still can't kind of believe that.
I pussied out and took inside the distance because I was worried that
his hands are so fucking good.
His hands and feet are getting good, man. And Kevin Lee, man, what a disappointing fight for him. He's got.
Kevin
I think
Lee, is he like one of the most underperforming guys that you thought that you can see has so many skills, but just doesn't seem to be able to put it all together?
I think so. I mean, how close was he to, like, he was smashing Tony. He had Tony mounted and was smashing him. Yep. And just couldn't finish it, and that just seems to be his career.
Yeah. And the crazy thing, he's still so young, but, like, it's weird to think how young he is, but what does he do from here? You know, like, he tried to go to welterweight and got his ass whooped, has this huge win, and then gets completely demolished by Do Bronx because he's an idiot. Like in a fight that he could have won, but he was like the fact that he was getting beat up in the feet that bad.
He looked like trash, man. That was bad. He gassed so quick too. Like I mean, obviously the weight cut was bad and the elevation was bad, but holy shit, he was gassed real quick.
Those body kicks worked. That was a great game plan by Chucky. Those body kicks worked, man, all the way into the end. Kevin Lee didn't look great, but we can't like undersell
how good Do Bronx looked.
His striking is fucking great now, which is crazy to say. It's fucking great now.
Yeah, I don't know how you fight that guy, and like personally, I want to see him versus Ferguson. I think more than anything, just because of how Tony fights, where you know there's going to be some wild ass shit, and you don't know what's going to happen. Like that's the fight I'd like to see if somewhere down the road. But who do you guys think he fights next?
I don't know, because I mean everything's kind of up in the air.
It's all in flux.
What about Cerrone, just for a name? Like we know
that's what everyone says. But like that fight excites me for Do Bronx's resume. But that is just not a competitive fight.
But everybody else is kind of tied up other than Gaethje. So if the Gaethje fight's not going to happen, then there's not really anybody ahead of him other than
probably
Felder.
Is the fight though. If we could make them, that's probably the fight at this point, though, right? Him versus Gaethje.
Well, it would never happen, but him versus Conor would be quite hilarious.
He'd choke Conor dead. He would choke Conor dead, bro. And I'm not even like doing my usual fucking McNutty shtick. I think Doe Bronx would choke him dead. Like seriously. That would not be pretty. That would not be pretty, man.
He would immediately be able to take him down.
Dubronx also looked like way bigger than before. Huge. Like I think he finally committed to lightweight and he filled it out, and that dude's gonna be a problem because he's actually got decent wrestling to go along with that jiu-jitsu.
Guys are starting to do that a little more. Look at like how Chiesa, he's so tall that he's got a frame you could add good muscle to. Doe Bronx like that too. I mean, My Kano is so tall and shit. He could fill out at 155 like very well.
Yeah, I agree. Like Kevin Lee did not look bigger than Dubronx whatsoever, and Kevin Lee just fought at welterweight.
Yeah, that's wild.
It should be interesting. I mean, with how the UFC is, like Hooker Poirier could get hurt.
Yep.
Conor and Gaethje might not happen. So I think any of those guys,
four
I think
guys,
make sense. Like I don't want to see him fight Felder again. I think he would win the rematch. I think he's a completely different guy now, and Felder obviously has one foot out the door. I'm not interested in that rematch.
That fight doesn't do it for me either whatsoever. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, especially like with Felder, who, I mean, he could win, and then if he loses the next one, then he retires, so it's kind of like a waste.
Yeah.
If he does somehow beat him. So, I don't know. I guess Cerrone for the name if Gaethje's not going to fight him, but other than that, there's Cerrone, not too much.
I could not see in a million years Donald Cerrone taking that fight. He has maybe a couple fights left. He
Who else
knows
fight?
What does that do for Cowboy?
Yeah, he lost 3 fights in a row. Like
you think they try to get him a win?
He'll be fighting like Diego Sanchez next.
Oh, that's actually not bad.
I know, it's pretty good. Like
I like
it
that.
It doesn't make any sense for him to fight.
Fuck it, do it at 170.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. So I think it's going to be one of those. Something will happen where he'll fight one, unless he fights someone like Ally Akinta just to get a nice little easy win. I don't know.
Yeah. But now that he's ranked in the top 10, you want to aim it higher.
Yeah.
It took him so long to get a fucking ranked fighter.
Yeah, and then he gets one and beats the crap out of him in front of nobody.
I mean, we watched, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, everyone saw it. So yeah, it's exciting. Lightweight is so good. I mean, there's so many. If you look at lightweight, take out Cerrone and Felder there, and pretend Dubronx is 6th. Anyone in that top 7 counting the champ could hurt each other and could do some work.
Yeah, it's fun. The top 5, 6 of lightweight is pretty unreal, and just fun fighters. They're not going to be boring fights. I mean, Usman could have a boring fight if he goes up to a bad matchup and just wants to wrestle or something. But I mean, at lightweight, it's pretty violent.
That is a good point. 170 has a lot of big names and good guys, and most of them make me want to take a nap.
Yep.
Except Gilbert Burns, that dude is fucking wild.
Yeah,
Burns.
he's fun.
Crazy eyes.
Stephen Thompson, Leon Edwards, Covington, Woodley, Usman, like they're either grinders or they try not to engage in fights.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I wonder what happens with that, how that division shakes out. Like Woodley said he doesn't want to fight Leon Edwards anymore. Colby said he doesn't want to fight Woodley anymore.
I'm sure that Woodley Covington fight will end up happening.
I hope so bad that Edwards, who is supposed to have this main event, gets against Woodley. Like, I hope his next fight is like
Stephen Thompson.
Like, I hope it's a co-main event versus like Michael Chiesa, and he gets his ass whooped, which he might. Michael Chiesa could totally beat Leon Edwards.
Just lays on him. Yeah, as long as it's a co-main. If it's 3 rounds, he can do it. If it's 5 rounds, it might be a little tougher.
I really hope he doesn't get a main event, and I hope he doesn't fight anyone of the top 5. That's like a dream for me.
Beautiful.
I fucking hate that guy so much. Like, who the fuck are you, bro? They're gonna know my name. I still don't know your name.
Nobody does.
I mean, the most fucking shine he ever had on him is when he got pieced up backstage by
Masvidal.
I mean, that's like the only time anybody's ever heard of the guy, you know?
It sucks that Masvidal hasn't fought or had fights announced either.
Wow,
What's
it's because
been
he
doing?
Well, I thought they were waiting on the McGregor fight, the McGregor Cerrone fight, but now.
No, but it seems like I think Connor's definitely going to fight Gaethje. That just makes sense. Like Connor, like I can't see Connor fighting Masvidal, and like Masvidal's been out now he'll be out for probably when he gets a fight announced. It's probably looking at close to like 10 months, depending on when the UFC gets back. He's not young either.
I'd probably take the Jorge fight if I was Connor though, because I think he's probably got a whole lot better shot of beating Jorge than he does Gaethje. Not saying that he can't beat Gaethje, but I think he probably starches Jorge personally.
I do too.
And that's a huge fight. It's a really huge. I mean, any Connor fight's huge, but Jorge's still got some shine on him, and that's definitely a winnable fight for Connor.
I actually agree. I think Connor would beat Jorge but lose to Gaethje.
Yeah, I would definitely favor him a whole lot more against Jorge than I would Gaethje. That's for sure.
But at the same time, Gaethje puts himself in so much danger, and Connor hits so hard.
People forget that Gaethje gets hurt a lot.
Yes.
That dude's chin it's his recovery that's so good. His chin isn't like the greatest.
Frankie. It's like Frankie from back in the day. Like Frankie, everyone talked about his granite chin. It wasn't much granite chin. It was just big fucking balls.
Yep. That's Gaethje. Same dude.
Yeah. So like, I think that Gaethje Connor fight, like that's a fight. Like I would almost line that even. Like I could see either guy winning that fight, but I would favor. I think Connor would just catch Jorge.
Yeah, I do too.
I think Jorge has had a lot of favorable matchups or guys at the end of their career, things like that. I think he's done amazing and stuff, but like I don't think he's nearly as talented as Justin Gaethje.
It's tough. I mean, Jorge's looked pretty good. I mean, he did knock out fucking Darren Till, which, I mean, I guess he got dropped. I mean, Till was good enough to beat Gastelum though.
That was the worst fight ever. No one punched each other.
That's fair. But, I mean, and Masvidal got dropped in that first round to Till, so, I mean, he's definitely vulnerable, but he's got a lot better recently. But, yeah, there is probably a little bit too much hype behind him.
I mean, he loses to Maia, loses to Thompson, beats shitty Darren Till, beats Askren's retirement fight, and beats Nate Diaz, who's Nate Diaz. You just never fucking know.
Yep.
Average age of those fights, like 35. including the two losses. The average age of Masvidal's last opponents is probably like 36 years old. In his last like 5 fights.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But good for him how he's gotten there, though. I mean, he's impossible to not like.
Yep. So when the hell are we going to see another UFC?
April 18th from fucking the Vatican City. You want to be a fucking fighter, Pope?
Put out the smoke, motherfucker.
You goof, we're going to the Vatican.
Oh, fuck. You fucking goofs. You want to be immune to the fucking coronavirus, or you want to be a fucking fighter? You fucking goof.
You think Jesus is scared of the coronavirus? You goof, we're going to the Vatican. That's a good. I'm gonna call Dana. I'll call Trump through Dana. Since they're besties.
I feel like we're not gonna see another UFC till like mid-May is my guess.
Yeah, I think that's most likely. But knowing fucking Dana, man, I would not be surprised if the fucking Khabib fight happens somewhere. It's like live from Bangladesh. We got the most anticipated fight in years. The Bangladesh non-crowd is super pumped.
Oh, that would be glorious.
Get one of Lorenzo's yachts. Take it out in the fucking open waters.
Yeah, like, they go into international waters. Like, how you gonna stop me, bro? You goof. You got no fucking law here, you goof. You can't do shit, Coast Guard.
That would be good.
I'm excited to see how it plays out. But yeah, I would suggest we're looking at, possibly June.
Yep.
I mean, all other sports are saying a couple months at least, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's June, and I think the next month is going to be rough, and then I think the economy starts to improve. Maybe a month from now, it starts going back up. Sports start coming back. Restaurants start opening. I think it'll be a slow roll, but I think sports is going to be the last thing to come back.
Yeah, just too many people in confined spaces. That's going to be the last shit.
I think the restaurant bar thing lasts. I think that'll be a month, but I think big groups of people they need to keep that shit on lockdown for a while.
Yeah. Oh, disappointing times.
Yeah.
Jay's dead.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to take. He got the Rona. You're gonna have to take us out, Lance.
He got the Rona. Anything else we need to cover? We should think of something next week. Why don't we do something where we watch an old event like everyone's doing, and then we commentate it?
You want to watch it live, or you just want to go through it, or what?
No, we all hit start.
Oh, we're gonna live cast it basically while everybody's gonna watch it.
Let's do that.
I'm thinking of weird stuff we can do to pass the time. All right.
I mean, I'm down. We'll have to find a decent event or a main card or 4 fights or something like that. We'll record for an hour and a half or so or whatever we want to do. And
yeah, you can do. Don't they have some that you can watch the full event, but it doesn't have commercials in it? Where it's just bang bang.
Yeah, on Fight.
Yeah, on Fight Pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? They still have that?
Yeah, I guess with you guys down in the States, you don't really need it anymore because you got ESPN Plus, right?
Yeah, I canceled Fight
Pass. I still have Fight Pass.
Well, yeah, but you're a hardcore.
I watch all the other shit on there. They got Titan and LFA and all that shit on there now, so I still keep it.
I've definitely moved to UFC only over the last year.
Lance has become casual.
I'll catch some. Well, I mean, you could say casual, but I watch every UFC fight.
Right.
I watch the bigger. I watch some of the Bellator stuff, but 95% of their stuff is complete garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't really watch the LFA or RFA or ONE or any of that stuff.
I mean, a lot of the UFC now is total garbage.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
There's so many 4 fights. Yeah.
Dude, some of those Contender Series fights last season, I was like, where did they get these people?
That was the worst season they've done of that so far. It was fucking bad.
They put too much together. It was too many seasons too quick, and I feel like there's been a longer break this time, hasn't there?
Well, yeah, because
well, even besides the Corona, I feel like Contender Series has been a long. Didn't it feel like they had a bunch of stuff close together early on? Maybe it's just me because the fights got so bad, but I don't know.
Well, now there's been 4 seasons, right? And I think it's been 3 years.
Yeah, they did a couple really close together. I think.
They've gotten good fighters out of that, though. There's some real legit people that it's way better than doing Tough.
Oh yeah, but
Tough's dead, right?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in
they finally put the nail in the coffin. I think a couple months ago, Dana finally
because they seen how good Contender Series was giving them warm bodies so much easier.
Well,
no reason.
Also, why would any fighter sign up to do Tough when there's Contender Series?
Yeah,
and not even that. There's so many other promotions now too that pay decent money while you can get a little better.
Yeah.
And that's probably on Fight Pass or something like that.
You're getting as many viewers as, there's not 5 million people watching Tough anymore and shit.
Everyone's got to turn on this fight. They're beating each other's ass.
Yeah, it's not that anymore.
No. But, all right, well, if anyone has any ideas, let us know of some old event we can watch, or maybe we can recap instead of watch it or watch. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Some fun stuff out. But it's been a pleasure. This was probably good for my mental health to talk to people that aren't my immediate family or work people. So I really, really appreciate it. So we will be back next week. We will try to keep you at least a little bit entertained. So everyone stay safe, stay inside, no beaches, don't go to Disney World, and we will see you next week.